Yes, thanks guys, and we're back here at Poole, and believe it or not, it is just a week has gone by this time, not the 2 weeks as we had last time. Well, the magic of video brings us back to Wimborne Road, and what a week it's been for the Pirates. Yes, they've got their Elite League season underway at Arena Essex on Monday, and surprised everybody, perhaps even themselves, by pulling off a 4-point victory. Tony Rickardsson was in fantastic form, scoring a 15-point maximum, and Antonio Lindback got paid 13 from 6 rides. Well, it's certainly the way that the Pirates would want to start the season. They're going to continue tonight with a match against Arena Essex before they go into action. Let's find out if they were surprised themselves at the result from Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised because, as I say, we knew it was going to be hard with Arena having some good results over the weekend and the track being very tricky, and I thought it would take our boys a lot longer to adapt, but they did a tremendous job.
I think really that we've hit them just at the right time for us, wrong time for Arena Essex, and of course now they're coming here, they've got probably more experience on the Poole track. Yeah,
exactly. That's why I was just saying that in changes a moment ago. You know, to the people like Ronnie PEDERSEN and Josh Larsen. I mean, I might just say Josh has ridden at Arena, but you know, Ronnie PEDERSEN probably go far better around here. Obviously, Greg, Mark. You know, yeah, it's going to be tough tonight. Very tough.
Do you think that with Mark, he's now back to full fitness? Is he the real danger man?
Yeah, I think so around here. I mean, the track. Looking at the track this evening, looks like it could suit Mark. There's a bit of dirt around the outside, so yeah, I think there's going to be some good race between him and Tony tonight.
And you're happy with the way the side has been gelling? I mean, clearly you must be happy with the results, unbeaten after the first 3.
Yeah, I mean, the team spirit's great. I mean, we're getting on really good. I mean, there's, you know, Jason hasn't got going yet. He's had problems, bike problems. But Jason's one of those guys, he doesn't moan about it or make it publicly known. But, you know, after Arena he did his bike and he found something, you know, quite radically wrong with it. So hopefully he can put that behind him. I mean, he's very disappointed. And Davey WATT, the same thing. I mean, I know he can do it, but he's just not really had the meetings. And again, he blew a motor up the other night, so he's having a bad time, but he'll get through it.
Well, let's hope tonight's the turning point for them. But for all the Pirates, well done so far. Let's keep it rolling.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Well, without doubt, the star of the show on Monday, I've got to say, even though Tony got 15, you were fantastic. And first time you'd ever ridden at Arena.
Yeah, it was first time. The track was very special, but I like that one. I like when the track, when the corner is very tight and you must work on the bike all the time. I like it.
Is that anything like it is in Sweden?
No, that track in Arena Access, I have never ride on one of that track before, so it was first time.
Now you've got a busy week because you've got more tracks that you've perhaps not seen before coming up this week. You're looking forward to that?
Yeah, looking forward to the whole season and to try the new tracks in England. I hope I can ride on them, and but I'm looking forward to the whole season. I do.
It's a pleasure to see you ride. You clearly get so much joy out of it, and you're giving a lot of joy to us watching.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Jason, you were there on Monday night, and it was a great result for the Pirates, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, all the boys did a good job. You know, and you know, we were down a little bit there at the start, but you know, we pulled that back and, you know, ended up with a nice win, so it was good.
There's lots of conjecture, of course, about that Heat 13. It was a crucial one, and obviously the Pirates were in a position whereby they could have ended up having a tactical ridden against them. Was there anything going through your mind at that point?
No, not really, no, because I'd been struggling, you know, through the meeting with my bikes and stuff, and by that stage, you know, we were up, so, you know, the pressure was off really a little bit, but yeah, I suppose if I did have a, you know, a good race, I would have done a tactical, but you know, lucky enough, everything went our way, so, you know, it was a good win.
We've seen some flashes of the brilliant side of Jason Lyons down here at Poole. You feel he's settling in?
Yeah, I'm settling in. I'm just really struggling with my bikes at the moment. They're just silly little things happening every meeting, and can't work them out at the meeting, and then you get home and, you know, wash the bikes and you find all these things that are going wrong that shouldn't really be going wrong. So hopefully that was the last of the problems, you know, and I can start scoring some points the way I want to.
Let's hope so. Let's have a good one tonight.
All right, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Well, I think all of the boys put in their effort on Monday night, and certainly all but 2 really did get in amongst the points. But for Arena Essex, I have to say that the timing of their first home meeting was probably a little bit like the Poole timing last year with Coventry. Poole went there with the Arena boys, really not having much home advantage, having not really gelled together as a team and having not really ridden on the track. So I wonder whether or not the timing for the Arena Essex was just the wrong timing.
Yeah, I mean, whatever timing you're looking at, it's, you know, it's early days. We've sort of had one meeting at home, pretty much the same as everybody else, and like you say, there's no sort of track knowledge at the moment, but you know, we dug deep, and Poole sort of got a bit lucky in a few heats. Kelvin had a bit of bad luck himself, and usually he's been, like, last couple of meetings, been a good trump card for us, but yeah, in general, I think we're going to go good.
In some respects tonight, coming back to Poole, you've got more experience here at Poole. Could be a slightly closer affair?
Yeah, I mean, like, Ronnie's had a little bit of problems, and I think like he will go good on places like Poole. It's not one of my favourite tracks, but you know, I'm here to try and do a job, so you know, no excuses. We've got to try and dig deep and see how we get on.
I must ask you, because we all watched the TV coverage, and you clearly weren't happy with something that went on in your race with Antonio Lindback. Tell us a bit from your point of view what was going on there.
Sure. Basically, Tony was doing a great job covering for Magnus. I was trying as hard as I could to pass a pair of them, or just one of them. Antonio looked at me sort of on the last straight and done a huge left-hand turn on me across the finish line. You know, he had me beaten, but he didn't really need to do tactics like that. And I think, you know, the guy's a good rider. He's got a good future, and you know, you do things like that, you're going to get hurt.
Well, hopefully that's behind us. We can concentrate on this evening, and we're up for another good race meeting.
I do hope so. Yeah, it should be a good one.
Thanks, Dino. Thank you. Well, this is a man that we're perhaps more used to seeing on Sky doing the interviewing, so it's a pleasure to turn the tables and interview you for a change. Kelvin, great night for Poole on Monday night. Unfortunately for Reno, not the same.
No, I think we were probably looking for a better result. We'd come into the meeting on a high after winning away at Eastbourne on the Saturday night, including myself. One or two of us didn't have as best a night as we wanted, but maybe tonight we could gain a bit of a revenge, which would be nice.
Well, I've said, of course, that you guys are going to know this track possibly better than your own, although with the exception of you, because you've been riding there all year last year. But moving up into the Elite League, that must be great for you.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think that it's a nice environment to be back involved with. I think there's a lot of excitement about the Elite League this year, so and we've got a side that's very keen to do well. So yeah, I'm very pleased to be involved.
We've all said that the reserves are going to play a big part. Clearly that was the case on Monday night, and clearly that's going to put a lot of pressure on you guys.
Yeah, you've got one. Poole have got a reserve in Antonio Lindback that quite clearly is a class above for that position at the moment, and he's getting hatfuls of points everywhere. So he's a danger for us, certainly. If he has a quiet night and myself and Leigh can really have a top quality night, then who knows? But certainly I think we'll put up a strong fight tonight.
I think so, and I doubt very much anyone is going to turn you over again this year.
Okay, well, that's very nice of you to say so.
Well, the Poole boys may be feeling confident, and the Arena Essex guys will certainly be wanting revenge for that Monday turnover. Who knows? They could even possibly reverse the tables here at Wimborne Road tonight. To find out, there's 15 heats of racing now to come, and we're going to go and join Graham to keep you in touch with, as always, all 15 of those races.
So Heat 1 of this first Elite League fixture of the 2004 season here at Wimborne Road. We've had 2 challenger matches. We've had our KO Cup match with the Peterborough Panthers. Now it's big time league racing with the Sky Bet Elite League, and the Pirates taking on Arena Essex in the return, and buoyed by their 4-point victory 2 nights ago up at the Purfleet Raceway. Here come the Pirates to heat number 1, which features Jason Lyons in the red helmet and Bjarne PEDERSEN in blue. Dean Barker on the inside in green for the visitors and his partner.
And immediately, that's a superb start by Jason Lyons from grid 2, something we haven't always seen this season. But the Hammers have packed into 2nd and 3rd places there, with Dean Barker and Ronnie PEDERSEN shutting out Bjarne PEDERSEN in the early stages of the race. And it looks very much as if Dean Barker is maybe struggling with some smoke coming from his machine. I think he's got a bit of a sick bike. Bjarne PEDERSEN obviously sensing that and immediately capitalising on Dean's misfortune, and he rounds his opponent there with Jason Lyons still out in front. It looks as if the Pirates are going to open the proceedings with a 4-2 heat win. Ronnie PEDERSEN comfortably tucked into 2nd place, and Bjarne PEDERSEN, although closing somewhat on his Danish counterpart, he's got a bit of ground to make up, and it looks as if it's a 4-2 start for the Pirates. They couldn't ask for much better than that against a powerful Hammers team. I'm sure the Hammers are going to make them fight all the way this evening. But Jason Lyons looking very comfortable in the opening ride there. A victory for him, and a 4-2 start for the Pirates.
Well, Heat 2, and it's the reserve riders race, but nothing second best about the lineup in this race. We've got Antonio Lindback, the undoubted star of Pirates' away victory at Arena Essex 2 days ago. His partner in blue, Daniel Davidsson. And for the Hammers, Leigh LANHAM in green, and Kelvin TATUM, their captain, in the yellow helmet. Poole on 1 and 3 then, as the tapes go up, and once again that man Antonio Lindback is away into the first bend, and it looks as if the two Hammers are packing into minor places. Daniel Davidsson seemed to get a good gate from 3 there, but went flying out into the wide open spaces there, which allowed the opportunity for Leigh LANHAM and Kelvin TATUM to tuck into 2nd and 3rd respectively. So a 3-3 draw. Antonio Lindback out in front, which is where he spent quite a considerable part of the match up at Purfleet, when he featured in no less than 3 5-1 maximum heat victories, and he was the undoubted difference between success and defeat on the Pirate side, and no less than Neil Middleditch, team manager, full of praise for the young 18-year-old Swede, and he well justified all the headlines that he's been receiving. Well clear there in race number 2 for Antonio, but it's a drawn race with the Hammers packing in the minor positions, Leigh LANHAM and Kelvin TATUM. Daniel Davidsson bringing up the rear. 7 points to 5 then, the progressive total after 2 heats. On to heat 3, and it's the skipper for the Pirates, Magnus ZETTERSTROM, in red helmet on grid 4. His partner Davey WATT, disappointing at Purfleet 2 days ago, failed to score in that match, but in lively form here 7 days ago. Let's hope a return of that form for the Pirates. Opposition in this one comes from former Pirate and firm favourite here a few seasons ago, Grzegorz WALASEK, and his partner, the American rider, who's seemed to be finding a new lease of life this season, and he's in the yellow helmet, and we're talking about Josh LARSEN. So that's how they line up. Hammers on 1 and 3. 2 points between the teams. Let's see whether that is going to be closed or extended in this one as the tapes go up, and in fact it's the Hammers who get away to a superb start, and holding, as they did at Purfleet on Monday, a 5-1 going into their first race as a pairing. And out in front is the former Pirate Grzegorz WALASEK, and in 2nd place Josh LARSEN. Magnus ZETTERSTROM from the difficult gate 4 was unable to make any impression on the first bend, and whereas 7 days ago here he was flying from every gate position, he wasn't quite up with the pace on the first bend, and this would mean that the Hammers would move into a 2-point advantage. There's a lap to go. Davey WATT still well off the pace at the back there, in marked contrast to his riding 7 days ago. Magnus ZETTERSTROM is right on the tail of the two Hammers, but it looks like he's going to be shut out by the team riding as they round the final turn. Grzegorz WALASEK is first past the post, with his partner Josh LARSEN 2nd, Magnus ZETTERSTROM 3rd, Davey WATT 4th. So scoreline moves along to the Pirates 8 points, the Hammers 10. Well, we're on to race number 4 with Tony Rickardsson in the red helmet, Daniel Davidsson in blue for the Pirates. Former favourite here at Poole prior to Tony's arrival, Mark Loram in the green helmet, and his partner in yellow, Hammer skipper Kelvin TATUM. Pirates 2 in arrears. Let's see if they can make it up this time, but they've got a tough ask because Daniel Davidsson up against a very, very experienced British pairing in the shape of Mark and Kelvin. What impression can he make? And for good measure, we've got Tony Rickardsson off perhaps his least favoured gate here at Poole, gate 4, although usually it doesn't really matter what starting position he goes from as he jets away from grid 4, but looks like Mark Loram was making him think a little bit on that one, and Kelvin TATUM right up there on the inside. But there we go, Tony Rickardsson out in front for Poole in the red helmet. We've said that a few times, and I guess through 2004 season. We'll say it a few more times. Looks as if while the Pirates are going to share this one, the Hammers going to be content to sit on their 2-point lead and indulge in a little spot of team riding. Mark Loram then and Kelvin TATUM in the minor positions. Daniel Davidsson still on his Wimborne Road learning curve. He's been pretty promising so far this season, showing steady improvement, but probably a little bit of a tough race for him here in heat number 4. So with half lap to go, Tony Rickardsson now in a commanding lead, fresh from his 15-point immaculate maximum, which was the backbone of Poole's win up at Purfleet 2 days ago, and he's starting here as he ended there, out in front. 3-3, 11-13 the score in favour of the Hammers.
Coming round for his lap of honour, blistering first and second turn there. So here we go with the full unofficial result of heat number 4 and the winning red for the rest.
4 heats gone, it's 11 to the Pirates, 13 to the Hammers. In race 5 we've got Poole Pirates on grids 1 and 3 with Magnus skipper on the inside. He's in the red helmet. His partner Davey WATT in blue, going from 3, hoping for better fortunes this time. Pairing for the Hammers, Dean Barker in green, and in the yellow helmet, Ronnie PEDERSEN. Of course, Ronnie, the elder brother of the World Speedway champion Nicky PEDERSEN. So coming into line then for Heat 5, Pirates with work to do, and certainly a week ago against Peterborough, Magnus and Davey WATT were getting things very much their own way. Are they going to return to that sort of form this time? Not showing up first on the first bend because it's Ronnie PEDERSEN who gets away out in front, but Davey WATT having a much better first bend that time, and he goes around his Danish counterpart to take the lead, but unfortunately for Magnus, he got boxed out there, and Dean Barker is who comes bursting up the inside with not a particularly good looking piece of team riding with Ronnie PEDERSEN, because he tends to leave him a little bit vulnerable, and that's exactly what happens when you get a situation like that. If you don't team ride, you leave your partner vulnerable, and just to add insult to injury, Dean Barker drops the race and falls off just when the Pirates are out in front for a 5-1. Dean not particularly fast in picking his bike up there, much to the consternation of the crowd, and oh dearie dearie me, Dean appears not to be particularly happy about that, and showing his displeasure by taking a little bit of a tumble. Maybe he felt that the track was to blame. All the other riders didn't have a problem, so maybe it wasn't the track. Anyway, we'll be back with the referee's verdict and potentially a restart just as soon as we get the verdict. Well, as they come into line for race 6, referee's verdict on heat 5 was that the race was stopped as the riders entered the last lap. Well, 3 riders were just entering the last lap, the exception being Dean Barker, who was excluded as a cause of the stoppage, and the race has been awarded to the Pirates. It gives them a much needed 5-1 win to move them back into the lead. So it was Davey WATT the winner, Magnus ZETTERSTROM second, and Ronnie PEDERSEN third. So so far Dean Barker not having the best of evenings, engine trouble in his first one, a fall in his second one. So he'll have the bank manager onto him if he keeps that sort of run up, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Preferably not bouncing back from the track, of course. Well, Heat 6 features a winner for Poole first time out, Jason Lyons, in lively form in race number 1. He's in the red helmet, but has the more difficult prospect of a gate 4 this time. His partner is Bjarne PEDERSEN, and the opponents come no less than Mark Loram and Leigh LANHAM. Mark Loram from gate 1 gets an absolute flyer. Bjarne PEDERSEN looks as if he wants to give him a run for his money, and Jason Lyons alongside Bjarne there. Oh, a little bit tight on the first bend as they're all scrambling for positions, but Mark Loram out in front from Bjarne PEDERSEN. Mark on the out, Bjarne on the in, and it's Jason Lyons standing by in third as Bjarne PEDERSEN is having a real good old go at the back wheel of Mark Loram, but I'd be very surprised if he made any further impression, because Mark has started
2004 season where we like to see him. All British, true British Speedway fans regard him as potentially their #1 and match winner in any World Speedway event. And after a horrendous 2003 injury-torn season, Mark has started very well indeed this year, and he starts this match, or he continues this match with a winning ride in race number 6 to draw the heat for the Hammers. Bjarne PEDERSEN 2nd, Jason Lyons 3rd, and Leigh LANHAM 4th. Drawn race, 3-3 the scoreline, and it's now 19-17 the progressive totals. So the Pirates got their noses in front after 6 races, but it's 19-17 the scoreline. And in Heat 7 we've got the magic pairing of Tony Rickardsson and his young protege Antonio Lindback, both having won their opening rides, and they come out against a pairing who 5-1'd in their opening heat, so something's got to give here in Heat 7. I wonder whether the pressure might be on the Hammers. It's Grzegorz WALASEK in the green helmet and Josh Larsen in the yellow helmet. So will Antonio, who's sandwiched between the two Hammers, be able to spring from the traps? If he does, I'm sure Tony will be looking for him, and they could continue in the vein that they set out in fine style up at Purfleet a couple of days ago. Of course, the Pirates, if any sort of win here tonight, would get them the bonus point in the Sky Bet Elite League, and at this early stage of the season, every point obviously counts. Green lights on, away they go. Tony Rickardsson out in front, and yes, Antonio Lindback is right there on his shoulder. And in fact, I don't think Tony had to throttle off at all that time, because his young partner was right there, and he's out in front, Tony right with him, and indeed, we thought perhaps the Hammers might be under pressure this time, and they certainly are, because Grzegorz WALASEK, after his opening heat victory, has pulled up the end of lap 1 with some sort of mechanical problem, and it's the Pirates way out in front. Josh Larsen trailing in their wake as Tony Rickardsson on the inside line, and Antonio Lindback on the mid-track position take the yellow and black flag with a lap to go. This will move the Pirates into a 6-point lead. In previous seasons would have been enough for a tactical change, but of course it's under the new revised rules. It's 8 points before any of those possibilities kick in. But kicking home for the Pirates, taking the checkered flag, continuing his fine run of form, Antonio Lindback. 2 races, 2 wins. Tony Rickardsson shepherds him home, and 5-1 makes the scoreline. 24 to Poole, 18 to the Hammers. Moving into line for Heat 8 then. Pirates 6 points in the lead, and out, this time in the red helmet they've got Bjarne PEDERSEN and his young partner Daniel Davidsson, with a couple of last places, struggling a little bit, but with the inside start perhaps it's an opportunity for him to shine. And opposition comes from Ronnie PEDERSEN in the green helmet and Kelvin TATUM in yellow. So Kelvin TATUM is rider on grid 2, and Ronnie PEDERSEN goes from grid 4. So Pirates will be maybe hoping to consolidate their 6-point lead with maybe at least a draw or possibly a heat win this time. So can young Daniel show the crowd here tonight what he's really capable of? He's shown some fine form in some of his matches so far this season, and up go the tapes there. It looks like Kelvin TATUM's got the jump on the Pirates on the first bend as Bjarne PEDERSEN storms back underneath, and going into turn 3 it looks like the pair of them are dueling this one out, with Kelvin TATUM outside and Bjarne PEDERSEN taking a slightly tighter line. Good news for Poole is that Daniel Davidsson is tucked in 3rd, and that's a fine pass coming out of the pits turn there from Bjarne PEDERSEN. And indeed, Daniel Davidsson now having a little bit of a look at Kelvin TATUM. Although Kelvin, a wily character, although he's in the veteran age category for Speedway, nevertheless, he still knows how to put a bike around a track like this. And with a lap to go, Pirates have indeed notched up a heat win here, and it doesn't look as if anything is going to catch Bjarne PEDERSEN. Kelvin Tatum's going to hold on to second place. Daniel Davidsson, a well-earned point there in third. And the 4-2 heat win means that the Pirates now move on to 28 and the Hammers on to 20. Could it be that the arena team management might be contemplating some sort of a change or a tactical move in Heat 9? We'll have to wait and see. On to Heat 9, and Hammers team manager Ronnie Russell takes full advantage of the new rules, and a perfect opportunity for him to do that in this race because he's got his top man, Mark Loram, out in the green helmet. Mark on grid 2, and his points in this race will be doubled. So a tactical ride, and Pirates pairing then under some pressure with Magnus ZETTERSTROM in the red and Davey WATT in the blue. It's Mark Loram in green and Leigh LANHAM in yellow. So it's ultimate test of Davey Watt's gating prowess. Not only has he got to try and make the gate on Mark Loram, who's flying tonight, but if he were to get out in front, of course, he'd be under constant pressure from Mark around the boards. He has indeed held him, and in fact Magnus ZETTERSTROM is challenging strongly on the inside of Mark Loram, but Mark has already seen off that challenge, leaving Magnus to fight off the third place challenge from Leigh LANHAM. But Davey WATT could be the hero for the Pirates this time because he's way out in front. Magnus in second place. This tactical ride for Mark Loram may not pay off for Arena if Mark can't get to terms with Davey WATT, because it would mean that Mark's points would be limited to 4, and of course the Pirates would also score 4. So this would be a 4-4 in the event of the race staying like this, and with a lap to go it looks very much as if it will. So after being very much out of sorts 2 days ago at Purfleet, Davey WATT bounces back in absolutely fine style. Around the last bend there, he'll be the hero for Poole because it means that they hold on to their 8-point lead. It's a third place for Magnus, but a first place for the hero Davey WATT. 4 points for Mark Loram for his second place because the 2 points get doubled, and therefore the 4-4 makes the progressive totals 32 to Poole, 24 to Arena Essex Hammers.
For the Pirates, Davey WATT. And I think it's fair to say he looks pretty pleased with life. So the full and official result then of heat number 9 was a win in blue for the Pirates, Davey WATT. Davis winning time 60.46.
So 8 points the advantage to the Pirates as we come up to heat 10, and it's Jason Lyons and Bjarne PEDERSEN, both in lively form tonight. Each of them has had a heat win in their earlier races. Grzegorz WALASEK and Josh LARSEN started like a train, but petered out a little bit under the Rickardsson Lindback pressure in heat 7. So their opportunity to show what they're made of here, as the Pirates will be looking. I'm sure Neil Middleditch will be anxiously awaiting a heat victory out of this race, which will put his team in command of the situation. Anything in favour of the Hammers will mean that there'll be more work to do. So it's the blue helmet of Bjarne PEDERSEN on gate 1. In the yellow helmet, sandwiched between the two Pirates, is Josh LARSEN. On grid 3, Jason Lyons. And on grid 4, engine failure last time out after his earlier victory, is our old friend Grzegorz WALASEK. So, waiting the rise of the tapes, and up they go, and a superb gate that was from Bjarne PEDERSEN and indeed Jason Lyons. So showing strongly on the first bend, Josh LARSEN, and he's dueling it out with Jason, and it looks very much as if the Pirates are lining up a 5-1 here as Jason moves to cover the inside line, although Bjarne PEDERSEN is not making team riding an easy proposition because he's riding just tight enough to shut out the attempts of any rider behind him, whether it's a team partner or an opponent. So Jason therefore deciding that safety first is the best policy. He'll hang back
Fortunately, he's not under too much pressure from the hammers, as once again Greg WALASEK is having a bit of a nightmare in this one, as he did last time out. With half a lap to go, Pirates have a comfortable 5-1 with Bjarne PEDERSEN from Jason Lyons and Josh LARSEN. That's how they cross the line, and I think there'll be a smile on the face of all the Pirates, and Neil Middleditch in particular, as the Pirates move on to 37 points, 25 to the hammers.
And Bjarne PEDERSEN and Jason Lyons coming round for a lap while, shaking hands on the back straight, and the Pirates certainly doing the biz on circuit this evening. So come on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in the home straight, your applause for Bjarne PEDERSEN and Jason Lyons. So on to Ronnie.
So 12-point the Pirates' advantage. This time it's Tony Rickardsson and Antonio Lindback. Can they really drive the sword home against the hammers this time? Dean Barker had a wretched night so far with 2 pointless rides, and Ronnie PEDERSEN, who's had 3 points from his 3 outings. So unbeaten Pirates against struggling hammers. It could be this time that we go into the interval with something like a 5-1 if Tony and Antonio can move out of the gate. Of course, interesting to see Dean Barker out this time against Antonio Lindback, because he found something to upset him when the two riders met up at the Purfleet circuit 2 days ago. Personally, as a Sky Sports viewer, I didn't see it myself, but obviously Dean saw something there, and there was a little bit of argy-bargy on the way back to the pits. But this time, it's the hammers that are out in front with a great gate from Ronnie PEDERSEN, and it looked like Tony Rickardsson was outgated there, so he just has to do it in his armchair, right around the outside from the back. That's the way to do it. I'm not sure that Antonio Lindback is necessarily going to be able to do the same, although he's passed Ronnie PEDERSEN, and he's setting out now after his good old track mate Dean Barker. But he's some way back. Ronnie PEDERSEN deciding he was going to test out the safety vents. What about that pass by Tony Rickardsson on lap 1 there? He was completely outgated on the first bend there, but turns 3 and 4, he just wound it on and left the two hammers for dead, as he's now a commanding 40 metres in front of Dean Barker and takes the checkered flag to give the Pirates a 4-2 heat win. Unfortunately, Antonio Lindback was not able to make any further impression on Dean Barker, but at least that means that Dean won't give him a hard time when they get back in the pit. So 4-2 heat win makes the scoreline 41 to the Pirates and 27 to the hammers. Well, let's have another look at that one, and as you can see on the first bend here, Tony Rickardsson was nowhere. The two hammers made the gate and were out in front, and as they go down the back straight, he thinks, well, there's only one thing to do here, and this is what I'm going to do. Winds it on into the bend, right around the outside of the two riders, and he comes out of lap 1 in front where we used to see him. What a superb piece of speedway that was by the 5 times world champion.
Well, here's the man himself, Tony. That was absolutely fantastic.
You think? No, yeah. No,
it was for me.
Yeah, it was a really good ride. I got a really good line around the outside, and yeah, I was very pleased with it. It went better than I expected it to do, actually.
Just at the start, it looked as though you'd missed it. Were you waiting and hanging back for Antonio, or did you were going for it anyway?
No, I was really trying to make a good start. You know, it's much easier to control it from the front than from the back, and we both missed a little bit. So coming into third bend, it was really had to go for it. I had no room on the inside, and I thought I'd give it a blast around the outside, and yeah, it turned out a lot better than I expected.
Track looks a little bit tricky tonight. Is that okay?
Yeah, it is a little bit tricky. You know, you really got to attack it to make it work, and if you anticipate a little bit, it gets you straight into trouble. So, but it started getting better and better, I think.
Well, you've really settled into the groove. Fantastic performance in the last 2 matches, and tonight again. So well done. Let's hope we can keep that up.
Yeah, sure, hope so.
Busy week.
Absolutely.
Davey Watt, I've got to say you've turned it around this evening. Haven't had the most auspicious start, but tonight really flying.
Yeah, it's about time. I haven't had a really good start to the season, and I'm doing okay tonight, and I hope that this is the start of it.
I know that you've been working with some new equipment, and getting it set up obviously can cause problems. Has that been part of the problem?
Yeah, I haven't adapted to it as well as I wanted, and I haven't set it up as well as I thought I had done. So it has been a struggle. We're still working on it. Seem to have Poole sort of worked out, but I am struggling a little bit away, or a lot away, but I'm getting there, I think.
I know it's the start of a busy week now for the Pirates, and clearly you're going to be involved in that, but is it difficult to set the bikes up once you get your pool set up right? Of course, then you've got to think about all the other tracks as well.
Yeah, it is, but you know, it's sort of once you get the ball rolling, you know, you can gain momentum and keep it flowing with yourself. And you know, it's the hardest part is getting going to start with, and I think I'm starting to do that now. So everything else, hopefully, will just fall into place.
Well, we all knew you could do it. We've just been waiting to see it, and you proved it tonight.
Thanks very much.
Well, as much as Davey is doing his bit on his side of the pits, poor Magnus here, you seem to be up against it tonight, not perhaps going how you'd like.
No, that's right. You know, it's a long season and many matches, and you can't be on top every time. Not me, but Tony can. He's flying today.
Well, we've all seen that, of course, and we know that you can do it too. What makes the difference, though? I mean, tonight, just not happening for you.
No, that's right. I mean, I've still got one more heat to go, so I'm going to take my head together, you know, and go for it in this time. So, I don't know, it's just one of those days. I can't really point on anything, and it's one of those things you don't really bother about. As long as the team going well, the team winning, it's just a new day tomorrow. So, I mean, there's no major wrong. It's just that my head is not there today, so...
Well, no matter what, you know, may not be getting the results out there, but I've seen you with the rest of the team. You've been doing a real captain's job this evening as well, so well done. And let's hope we'll see you in that last one doing well.
Thank you very much.
Well, Neil, I've got to say, the boys seem pretty pumped tonight. They're making a fantastic account of themselves. You must be delighted with what you're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see Davey WATT, you know, tremendous to beat Mark Loram. I mean, that was a real confidence booster for him. You know, Daniel's still having a little bit of a rough time, so hopefully we can get him through it. But yeah, everybody else is pulling very well. Yes, good performance.
You seem set fair tonight, and of course the Pirates now could be on the cards for the first bonus point of the year.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. I mean, it's you know, we got 41, but so that's why I've just swapped reserves now, put Antonio in. Hopefully we can tie it up in this one with a bit of luck.
Okay, good luck. Let's see it all the way through.
Thanks a lot.
So the Pirates could be set fair then for the first bonus point of the year. They've certainly won the opening match of the year on Monday night. They're doing it again tonight. Let's see the Pirates go to the top of the table. Another few races to go yet, so let's go back and join Graham.
On to Heat 12, and Ronnie Russell plays one of his tactical ride cards in this one, because Leigh LANHAM in the yellow helmet has been nominated tactical ride, so double any points that he scores. For Poole, it's Magnus ZETTERSTROM and Antonio Lindback, and Grzegorz WALASEK is in the green helmet. So there they go into that bend, and the Hammers are out in front, but Magnus ZETTERSTROM there storming up the inside. Antonio Lindback looking to try and join him, but in the green helmet out in front after a couple of pointless rides is Grzegorz WALASEK. He's under pressure from Magnus ZETTERSTROM, and Leigh LANHAM taking an inside pass on Antonio Lindback, who didn't like that very much, not impressed at all, and comes back to regain his third place, sitting behind his partner, but out in front. A win to start with, 2 engine failures, and Grzegorz WALASEK showing his old Wimborne Road form. With a lap to go, he's out in front, so he's going to double his total to 6 points. But unfortunately, it's the wrong rider out in front as far as Ronnie Russell's concerned, because double nothing is nothing, and it means that the race is still going to be drawn. Leigh LANHAM unable to capitalise on that tactical move. Grzegorz WALASEK the winner, Magnus ZETTERSTROM second, and it was Antonio Lindback third. 44 points to the Pirates now, and 30 to the Hammers. So the Pirates in a more or less unassailable position with 3 heats remaining and a 14-point advantage. Not quite the pressure that they may have had in some matches. And Jason Lyons and Tony Rickardsson, they won't be relaxing because there are points to be earned, but nevertheless, as far as the match outcome is concerned, the pressure's off a little bit. So it's Jason in the red helmet, goes from the inside starting gate. Tony Rickardsson in the blue, going from 3. Tony in absolutely scintillating form here this evening, and
The only time he followed a rider was when it was his own Antonio Lindback. We've got Dean Parker in green and Mark Loram in yellow for good measure. And into the first bend in the green helmet, we've got Dean Parker out in front. Here comes Tony, and away goes Tony. So, although Dean Parker got an excellent start, and Mark Loram there breathing right down his partner's exhaust pipe, we've got Jason Lyons at the back, Tony out in front, all of which adds up to a shared heat share of the spoils. And I'm not sure whether Jason Lyons is going to have a little peg at Mark Loram. I'd be surprised if Mark would be vulnerable to any challenge on that front with the way Mark's riding tonight, but he's obviously going to decide he's going to tuck in for the bonus point behind his partner Dean Parker. Tony is too far out in front, and having seen plenty of Tony's rear wheel up at Purfleet in Tony's immaculate 5-1 maximum on Monday, I think that the two hammers are electing for share of the spoils. It's 3-3, and the progressive total moves on with 2 heats remaining. 47 to the Pirates, 33 to the Hammers. So it's heat 14 with Davey WATT and Daniel Davidsson. So Neil Middleditch has done a reserve switch. Antonio was in for Daniel in heat 12. Now we've got Daniel in for Antonio in heat 14. Davey WATT then and Daniel Davidsson, and they come into battle with Josh LARSEN and Kelvin TATUM for the Hammers. It's 2 heats remaining. Pirates still with that 14-point advantage, and intriguing this time with the Hammers. They've always been competitive tonight, but just eclipsed in 1 or 2 areas, mainly in the area of heat wins, because looking across the score chart, I can only see 3 heat wins for the Hammers, and the Pirates, obviously, out of the 13 races, would have provided the other 10. But into the first bend they go, and a great ride into the first corner by Daniel Davidsson. Superb start from grid 2. The 2 Hammers packed in behind him, with the yellow helmeted rider Kelvin TATUM deciding that he wasn't going to have any young Swedes lead him around the track, and he burst by there in fine style out of turn 4 to take the lead for the Hammers. So something for the Hammers to cheer for, as Daniel Davidsson slows there, some problem with the bike, and that allows Josh LARSEN through into second place, and it could be the Hammers are on for maximum heat win with Davey WATT in third place, not getting his customary super jet propelled start that time, and having gone from hero against Mark Loram earlier in the proceedings, Davey WATT now having to taste the shale of 2 of the lesser Arena Essex riders, as the Hammers take the 5-1, and much needed in the penultimate heat, giving the Pirates now a lead by 48 points to 38, 10 points the difference between the sides, with just the big heat 15 to go. And commiserations to Daniel Davidsson there. Looks as if he was in for a good race, but unfortunately the machine gave way.
Meeting people last year.
It's heat 15 then, the nominated riders for this race in red helmet, Tony Rickardsson. In the blue helmet, Bjarne PEDERSEN. We've also got for the Arena Essex Hammers, former Pirate pairing in the shape of Grzegorz WALASEK, with 2 wins to his credit so far this evening, and of course wouldn't be heat 15 without Mark Loram. Mark had a fairly quiet evening. He's had a couple of bonus point third places behind his partner. He had a race win in heat 6, and he had that 4 points from a second place in his tactical ride in heat 9. Formidable opponent, Tony Rickardsson, 4 unbeaten rides, just a bonus point behind Antonio Lindback, and Bjarne PEDERSEN, of course, he's had a very good evening with 9 points, including 2 heat wins. So 10 points between the sides. It's heat 15, up go the tapes, and away they go. And indeed, it's the yellow helmet of Grzegorz WALASEK who supplies, as everybody else knows, not its yellow helmet of Mark Loram, who gets out in front of Tony Rickardsson. So what's Tony going to do about this? I think it's going to be an inside pass this time. It was outside before, and he hits a little bit of grip there coming out of the turn, and Mark Loram comes back at him, but Tony Rickardsson is a superb master of his bike there, and despite that little bit of front wheel lift coming out of the turn, he kept it down. He shut out the efforts of Mark Loram, and it's Mark Loram in second place ahead of Bjarne PEDERSEN third. The Pirates, with a lap to go, are going to round it off with a superb 4-2 here, and once again Tony Rickardsson is underlining his absolutely superb early season form. He had a maximum at Purfleet against the Hammers away from home. He doubles it up for a home maximum, takes the plaudits from the crowd at the end of heat 15. Superb maximum from Tony Rickardsson, the 5-times world champion, and second place Mark Loram. Third place went to Bjarne PEDERSEN, and fourth to Grzegorz WALASEK. Final score then in this Sky Bet Elite League fixture: 52 to the Pirates and 40 to the Hammers.
Mark Loram, Bjarne PEDERSEN and Grzegorz WALASEK.
Well, a fantastic finish for the Pirates, and so far in our first 2 matches that we've been covering, we've spoken to all of the team, but we haven't yet spoken to the governor. Matt, you must be delighted with the way the season started.
Yeah, we both are. It's a great start, isn't it? You know, I think actually this is the best start we've had to a year, so if it carries on this way, everyone will be happy again.
Now, I can't help but notice that the Pirates have shot straight into the top of the league.
Yeah, wonderful, isn't it? It's great to see. It normally takes us a lot longer than that. No, I mean, it's you know, no one's going to be silly. It's 2 matches. There's another, what is it, 34 to go. And, you know, but yes, great they get 5 points on the board, home and away against Arena, which, and you know, I genuinely don't think many people will go there and win, actually. And even tonight they put on a good show. So, you know, Mark's really finding his form, which is great for everyone to see, isn't it? And, you know, good to see Grzegorz WALASEK riding well too.
As well as Mark finding his form, I've got to say that Tony just seems to be in the most awesome form that we've seen so far.
Yeah, you know, it's odd because you know, I know he got very tired last year, and you know, I think the bang on the head affected him far more than any of us thought at the time, and himself as well. And I know that, you know, it has been a fear that he's had that he's going to get too tired, you know, with the amount of racing that he does. But no, great. I mean, the form he's in currently is just tremendous, isn't it? You know, and you know, I'm sure the video is going to show there's some fantastic moves again by him. He's just, you know, he's everything that Speedway is about, you know, and he's a pleasure to deal with. He's extremely professional, and you know, long may he stay here.
Well, now the Pirates, of course, head into a very busy week. 3 matches upcoming before we come back to Wimborne Road. It must be quite a pressure on the whole team and the club as a whole.
Yeah, hell of a week, isn't it, this week? We all, you know, when the fixture list came out, I did ask for April to be as busy as possible because I knew that come the start of May, you had Sweden start, you had the Grand Prix start, and I always like to give our times a bit of, you know, our riders a bit of time to sort of, you know, get into their swing on that, in those in the Swedish domestic league and the GP. So, you know, it's nice. We're extremely busy in April. We've got another week coming up similar in July where we'll be just as busy. I think we've got 6 matches in 9 days. But, you know, sometimes they hurt you and other times they're good for you. You know, they can work out, you know, if you're on form, you can pick up a lot of points in a week. And, you know, tough one at Ipswich tomorrow. You know, they're riding well. Hans Andersen flying. It's just great to see the Poole assets getting better and better, and you know, the club's future's just looking more rosy every time I look at it.
Well, it's been a tough winter for you. You've had to make some hard decisions, but from what we've seen so far, you've made some good decisions, and long may you reign.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I say, you know, genuinely, no one's, you know, cheers guys, no one's counting their chickens before they're hatched. It's such an early start, but it's encouraging, isn't it? We're doing okay. We're riding well. 4th win at home today, you know, okay, it's the first in the league, but we won the cup where we didn't cheat incidentally, you know, 2 in challenge matches, and yeah, come on, you know, I think everything is, but you guys are the best in the business, you know, I think the team's the best in the business. We've got a great, you know, track, you know, fantastic fans, brilliant sponsors. I'm over the moon. It is a, you know, it's working well, and long may that continue.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheers.
Well, we've talked about this busy week that's upcoming for the Pirates, and it really is going to be a major week for them if they're going to maintain their form. They could come out of this week with a hatful of points. Tomorrow, they're off to Ipswich, a tough match for them, followed up the following night on Friday by a visit to Peterborough in defence of the Knockout Cup. Don't forget, of course, the Pirates already have a lead in that competition, and they'll be looking to consolidate that and go through with their round on a Friday. On Monday, Pirates go in Elite League action up to Bellevue, and then they're back here for a home and away tussle with Eastbourne on Good Friday. So in total, 5 matches to look forward to in just over 7 days. Well, the Pirates, are they up to it? It's going to put a lot of strain on the team. It's going to put a lot of strain on the equipment as well. And no doubt at the end of it, well, we will see what has happened, and we'll be able to report to you as we return for our match here against Eastbourne on Good Friday. So keep watching Pirate videos. We will keep you in touch, and don't forget, as they say, it's all the action all the time.
If you want to see the action again and again, get the Pirate videos.
All of the action, all of the time.